So this is the TLDR version of my previous half-hour video for those with far shorter attention spans and or those that couldn't care less about the nuance, which seems to be about 99% of the population based on the comments.
And away we go!
Tens of thousands of Australians marched in rallies demanding action from the government to tackle violence against women. The government, unwilling to commit to any action on the rally organisers' demands, decided that they would attend, walk, but not speak at the rally. This has been confirmed by both Senator Katie Gallagher and rally organisers.
We'd been working with the organisers about an opportunity to speak. We weren't on the speakers list and, we weren't able to land that. There was some concern about the demand, the 5 key asks that were being sought at that rally and, a commitment that they were seeking from us, and we weren't able to reach agreement on how to proceed. So in the end, we decided to just walk and attend the rally.
He wasn't coming to speak. They said that they weren't coming to speak, they were just coming to walk in solidarity. I'd actually asked him, their office, if he would speak, if he could commit, and they said, look, it's a bit too busy.
On the day, the speaking portion of the event went sideways due to a combination of an inexperienced MC who perhaps didn't take the advice that she'd been given earlier in the day.
I've already been told not to say anything about them or ask them to do anything. I'm going to do it anyways.
Provoking a response from the PM.
He decided he would speak, to the applause of some, booing of others.
This was coupled with a Prime Minister already on the defensive following some heckling.
There's a lot of brave people here. Be brave! Our Prime Minister won't back us.
Who then went on to mishandle the whole situation. Sarah Williams has said the PM said this.
You've said, or there's an allegation the Prime Minister's said in response to all of these calls, I'm the Prime Minister.
Which he did. She's also said that the PM said this.
I run this country. Are they the exact words he said?
Yes, those exact words he said.
There's no recorded evidence of him saying this, which could mean that it either wasn't said, which is plausible, or that it was said and not picked up on audio, which is also plausible. How you choose to view the day's events will likely come down to which team you barrack for. But does it actually matter who said what to who on the day? No. Why? Because the rallies weren't about who was speaking on the day. The rallies were held to demand the government take immediate action, and that action is what the government should be judged on. On the weekend of the rallies, the only thing the government had to announce was that a National Cabinet meeting would be convened.
On Wednesday morning, I will convene a National Cabinet has been agreed with every Premier and Chief Minister.
A few days later, National Cabinet meets. And the outcome of that meeting was a $1 billion announcement that sounded big.
So today we can announce the government will invest $925 million over 5 years. It will be included in the budget in 2 weeks' time to permanently establish the Leaving Violence program. Those eligible will be able to access up to $5,000 in financial support along with referral services, risk assessments and safety planning.
It gave the government something to point to and made for an impressive headline.
Well, breaking right now, the Prime Minister has just announced a $925 million funding boost over 5 years, straight after an emergency meeting of National Cabinet.
The Prime Minister emerged a short time ago announcing $925 million over 5 years.
$925 million.
Nearly $1 billion.
With the government unveiling nearly $1 billion to support women in danger.
In a near $1 billion package.
A $1 billion program to help women escape violent relationships.
That is until you scratched away at it and realised this big announcement amounted to reheating an old Scott Morrison era policy. Actually, reheating is really overselling it. Essentially, the government just announced that they'd be extending a problematic Scott Morrison era policy. And they wonder why people are having trouble telling the two major parties apart.
Two-party system.
After the rallies, this had been the opportunity for the government to step up, show leadership and show that they'd actually been listening. Instead, they rebranded an old coalition program that Labor themselves had been highly critical of when it was announced the first time around. Labor Senator Jenny McAllister had criticised the then coalition government for failing to listen to those at the coalface and described the program that Labor have now re-announced themselves as showing the fingerprints of a government that doesn't understand the experiences of victim survivors and is more concerned about rushing out a media release than getting it right. No one expects a problem like this to be solved overnight, but as Independent Senator David Pocock pointed out at the rally,
clearly this is not something that we can just change overnight, but we can change it, and we must change it, and it takes a commitment from all of us. And as we've heard, there are things that the government can and must be doing to step up, and they can be doing them now.
had the Prime Minister and his entourage stuck around to listen, they might have just learned a thing or two. Finally, if you're one of those people piling on to Sarah Williams because you're having a hard time dealing with the fact that Albo came away from the rally having served up his very own Scott Morrison moment, just give it a rest. Albo's a career politician, media trained to within an inch of his life, packing 11 media advisors. He mishandled the situation, but he'll be fine. He doesn't need you attacking a 23-year-old survivor in order to defend his honour. Albo will be fine, don't worry. Now go touch some grass. Pickles.